All right. So another popular question is should there be sex ed in high school? Yes or no?
So, yes, I think for me or anybody would be the obvious question. However, to that would be if this is the first time you're introducing sex ed to these kids, you've hit the mark too late. Education needs to definitely happen a little bit earlier. This is the part in high school is where we should really be kind of diving a little bit more in depth into the outcomes of sex, and then defining the actual interact or interaction steps you would take to have sex. Really defining that and explaining that is important. Um,
As
but,
well as safety precautions
right,
and
right. But yet again, I don't think school systems are at a point where they're ready or equipped to do so.
Hunter, you also brought up a good point in a previous video about group sex ed and
Yes.
how I think that I do believe that at high school would be a good time for that because there is a lot of comparison happening and a lot of questions. And even, when you're first entering high school, that might be when you're just entering puberty. It's different for everybody. So it is a very important topic to address in high school. But again, like Sally said, it needs to be addressed properly, and we're just not quite there yet.
Body image, I
Now
think,
to
is
kind
a
of yeah, body image is huge because everybody's is so much different in high school. And then, but kind of like a follow up is for the people that may say no to that question. They're like, no, I don't think that sex ed should be kind of taught in high school. What are the kind of rebuttals to that? Like, what would you say to somebody that was like, no, I don't believe that it should be taught in high school, like at any level? What would be, maybe the kind of topic of conversation you would bring up in that?
If you send an uneducated child into a situation, I think they're more likely to be taken advantage of. So while we're teaching them about sex, we're also protecting them from predators and people who are looking for that naive child or adolescent who doesn't know exactly what it is. And you've even seen different types of disabled people who have been taught a different word for sex or haven't had a sex education, and someone comes in and tells them, hey, let's go exercise. And for some reason, they think that sex is exercise because that's what they've been told because they had no prior knowledge of it. That's just one example that I would say is very important, but the list could be very long. And sex is defined so differently for everybody. So
yeah, I would agree. I think that my rebuttal to that would be that education is power. The
right.
more you are knowledgeable about yourself and about the opposite sex or, your partner, the more autonomy and power you will have over yourself. But again, it needs to be coming from the right sources.
Right. And the other thing to that is if you don't give them the knowledge now, they're going to find it from somebody else. So take the control of giving them the correct and knowledge that you want them to have while you have that power. Because if you give it to somebody else, you don't know what they're going to learn.
Yeah.
All right, sweet, thanks.